am once again honored to recognize outstanding work. Sometimes this work may go unnoticed until the need presents itself, but thankfully, these services exist. Today, we recognize an agency that bears the name of a trailblazer, one whose name stands for perseverance and excellence. I am speaking of none other than the late, great Senator Wynona Lippman, whose memory continues to live on through the work of the agency that is affectionately named for her, the Wynona's House Child Advocacy Center. And if you were to go to my office, which is the next door down, you will find a picture of me with her on my wall. And I am really pleased to have a picture of the wonderful Wynona Lippman in my office on my wall. Now, I know that all of the representatives are not here today, but I'd like to ask Carol Berger, who is the Chief Program Officer and the MDT Coordinator, to join me at the podium and introduce the other people from Wynona's House who are here with her. And before she introduces them, I'd like to introduce the Freeholders who are with us here tonight, and that is the Freeholder Board President, Brittany Timberlake, Freeholder Levy Jones, and Freeholder Cynthia Toro. And now, Carol Berger.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce members of our staff. We have Ashley Pires, who is our family advocate here today. Please join us. We have Jocelyn Rivera, who is our new administrative assistant with us today. And Wynona's House is really a team concept. We have several partners. We have Wynona's House, which is the not-for-profit, and then we have partners who are co-located within our building. Among them are the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, DCP&P, the Division of Child Protection and Permanency, and then we have the Metro Regional Diagnostic and Treatment Center of Beth Israel Hospital. And with us today, we have the Administrative Director of the Regional Diagnostic and Treatment Center, Donna Pinkavage. Without our partners, we could not do what we do. So, Donna, we're really appreciative that you're here with us.
Thank you. Wynona's House Child Advocacy Center's mission is to promote justice and provide healing for child victims of abuse and neglect in Essex County. This is accomplished by coordinating investigations, prosecution, treatment, and prevention services for children and non-offending families, utilizing innovative, evidence-based, multidisciplinary team approaches to improving outcomes for the children and families they serve. Our communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that benefit children and their families, and we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness. The Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby proclaims April 2016 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Essex County, and commends Wynona's House Child Advocacy Center for their efforts to protect and support children and families in Essex County, and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. So it is again my honor and privilege to recognize Wynona's House Child Advocacy Center and the work that you do on behalf of so many who cannot defend themselves. As a public official, I support the work that you are doing, and I take personal responsibility in raising public awareness of the realities and need to take measures to prevent child abuse and neglect. That is why I join you in acknowledging April as National Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month in Essex County, and applaud you for leading an organization that has served more than 800 cases of abuse and neglect last year alone. We believe as we raise awareness in our community, ultimately, lives will be saved. I'd like to briefly share a small portion of what is included in the resolution. In federal fiscal year 2014, 52 states reported 702,000 victims of child abuse or neglect. Our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Essex County, and child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that can have lifelong consequences for its victims. 16 years ago, the Senator Wynona M. Lippman House Advocacy Center, known as Wynona's House, was founded in Newark as an organization dedicated to helping children who have been abused or neglected. Together, law enforcement, prosecutors, medical and mental health professionals, child protective services, and a nonprofit administrator all work together in one child-friendly facility. And in 2015, 852 children were served. We can't thank you enough. And this recognition is the latest that we can do here in Essex County. Thank you so much. Would any of you like to say a few words? Freeholders, would you like to come up and join me? If you have any words to say, please do so.
Good evening. Again, Freeholder Cynthia Toro. I just want to thank Freeholder Siebold for really putting Wynona on the map here for 16 years, servicing, neglected and abused children. That is one of the things that is the hardest for me when I see children who are, have traumatic experiences, as they are innocent victims that can't help themselves. And it is because of programs as this that exist that, these children have a place to rehabilitate, and emotionally, and psychologically, hopefully overcome those experiences and reach adulthood emotionally stable and reach success in their life and in their careers. So I humbly congratulate all of you for all the hard work, because I'm sure it's really hard some days. And it's impressive to see that, 2015, you serviced 852 children. That is very impressive. And again, thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much to Wynona's House for what it is that you do for our community. A lot of times children don't necessarily know that the treatment in which they're experiencing is bad, but they feel that something is wrong. And without child advocacy groups that are out there advocating on their behalf, many of them would be slipping through the cracks and growing up with horrific childhoods. So I just thank you so much for caring for the children. And if there's anyone out there that's listening and wants to support this organization, please do so, because they're doing some phenomenal things and ensuring that we are raising up our children in the most healthy way as possible. Congratulations.
My name is Levy Jones, freeholder at large. Basically, I'm going to concur with everyone, the freeholders and these good people, angels, who has taken it upon themselves, because there's no money into this type of service. It is a willingness of a person who cares about other human beings, and especially our future, which are our children. And I want to congratulate them, and they could not have picked a better group or service workers than yours, which is the Wynona Lippman Center. Congratulations.
In closing, I would like to thank the Freeholders staff for doing such excellent work, and especially Kathy Brown, who's standing over here, who worked so hard putting all of this together. And it is indeed a great pleasure for me personally to recognize Wynona's House, because that has such meaning, and it must continue to do the great work that it does. So together, we must support the future of Wynona's House. Thank you.